Let's take a look at all the manga that I picked up in March of 2023. It's time for the March Manga Haul 2023, and I'm including in here not just my March manga, but also the like dozen or so manga that I bought in at C2E2, the convention at the end of March with the beginning of April. I wanted to include them here because I wanted to talk about them sooner, so I can, you know, make sure that I'm mentioning the convention and the folks at the convention don't get upset for like a creator going and then not talking about it. Anyway, so as always, we do the haul videos. First, I cover the newer stuff, and then I go into any older things that I track down, any older series, older volumes, reprints, etc. And I go through in order of publisher. Usually, and how I'm going to do it now is mostly like from the publisher that I have the least amount of books from to the one that I have the most books from. So that means that we're going to start with Tokyopop this month. I got one book from Tokyopop, Sengoku Yoko. This is a new series that they have published by the same creator as Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, World End Solte, and Spirit Circle. So if you're a fan of any of those, then you will definitely want to check this one out. It is a completed series. I think it had 17 total volumes. So if you're looking to grab it, just keep that in mind. Next up, I have one book from Drawn and Quarterly, and that is Kitaro. This is a reprint of an old Kitaro volume, the Shigeru Mizuki's Kitaro, Japan's classic manga. So this is a nice oversized volume. I have most of the other Kitaro books, but this is a nice kind of greatest hits-ish type of collection of the classic, you know, monster boy and stories about him and other monsters, etc. So yes, fun stuff here from Drawn and Quarterly. Then I've got one book from Vast Visual. If you watched my April buyer's guide, then you saw me show this one off. This is Otohime Diver. This is the first Vast Visual book that I've bought. I thought it was the first Vast Visual book to be printed, but I was wrong. It is the third series that they've put out, and I missed the other two, but this one is really, really beautiful. It does have some kind of fan servicey artwork, just the nature of the story. It's a girls' diving school, so you get a lot of girls in like bathing suits and stuff. But the environment art and stuff like that, just the depictions of the underwater scenes are absolutely stunning. I'm trying to find a picture that's not so much like focused on the girls in their bathing suits. I'm just going to tell y'all to Google the artwork for Otohime Diver so you can see what it looks like. And it's just presented on beautiful oversized pages. So the story is fine. The artwork is where it shines. Then we've got two books from, you know what, no, I'm going to go to Dark Horse because I have one book from Dark Horse, and that is Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 13. So this, I've been saying all over the place. I've been saying, you know, this is the last one we're going to get for a while because I was under the impression that we were going to have to wait a while for Volume 14, and we are waiting longer than typical, but we now know that Volume 14 is coming out towards the end of the year in November of this year, 2023. So this collects through volumes 39, 14 is going to be coming out in November, and it is going to have 40, 41, and the guidebook, the Berserk guidebook, which is cool because basically 14 is now going to be like this big capstone on the material by Kentaro Miura himself, because 41 was the last volume published with the material that he did. 42 is where the eventual volume 42 that is coming out, they announced it, I think, also for late this year in Japan. So the eventual 42nd volume is going to be the material after his death, that is by Studio Gaga under the direction of Koji Mori. So it's going to be, 14th is kind of going to be this final celebration of his work on the series. And then 15 and onward will be the post-mortem material. And just to kind of celebrate what I thought was going to be the last volume for a while, I also picked up the Berserk Written in Darkness book from Third Editions. This is written by Quentin Botan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but it is kind of a book about Berserk and examining a lot of what Miro was doing with that book as far as the journey of the characters and stuff like that, references to classic artwork and classic literature. There's a lot of references in Berserk to like classic epics in literature, so things that if you took classical literature classes in high school or college, you might have read a lot of those epics that he invokes throughout Berserk. So interesting book. I haven't gotten to sit down and read all of it yet. I've read some excerpts and I'm excited to sit down with it. Now, we've got 2 books from Glacier Bay. I missed talking about this one on my March buyer's guide, and I apologize. I was, I don't want to say called out, it's not like they were mad at me, but I was, Glacier Bay on Twitter mentioned my video because I did talk about this one. This is the newest one in the Sleepy Child, One Strange Day. It's an ongoing series of little bitty manga books that little bitty Tankoban manga book, who am I, that are all about the same sleepy child, little kitten boy. And this is the newest one, One Strange Day. Cute little series. And I mentioned that one in my video, but I forgot to mention A Favorable Wind on Full Sails. The reason why I forgot to mention it, and I apologize and I said this, was because I got the old release date mixed up with the new release date, because it was originally scheduled to come out months ago, and I think I talked about it months ago. And then I didn't talk about it in March, and it actually released in March, and here we have it. This one's great if you like Gekiga. This is a great single volume with several like short stories. Definitely recommend picking this one up. Now we get 3 books from Square Enix. First up, the first 2-in-1 of My Clueless First Friend. I know the anime started recently on this one, and I've heard it's very cute. I don't have to say I heard it. I've read this volume, and this volume is very cute. It's, you know, grade school kids and their friendship and stuff like that. It's nice. It was a cute little wholesome 2-in-1 volume. So if you like wholesome slice of life and stuff, then that's going to be one you want to check out. Ragna Crimson Volume 8. I haven't started the series yet, but I bought it. I started buying it several months ago, under the recommendation of people that I saw like talking about it on Twitter and thinking the artwork looked cool. So hopefully I'm gonna get to sit down with it pretty soon because I'm catching up on some other reading right now. Then Soul Eater Volume 10. I think there's 17 of these total hardcovers gonna be out from Square Enix. Really nicely presented books. The artwork pops on these pages. Fantastic representation, and I'm having fun reading Soul Eater for the first time. And I've mentioned it before, actually. I could probably save it for when I talk about Kodansha, but I mentioned it before, but I've also been reading Fire Force for the first time through the omnibus editions. I'm just gonna put out there that I prefer Fire Force quite a bit more than Soul Eater. Anyway, moving on, next we have books from Yen Press. Okay, so from Yen Press, and these are the books I get, like they send me volume 1s every month for all their new series that are coming out, and I show those in each of my buyer's guides, but I don't always show them in my haul videos. So these are just the ones that I bought for myself. Volume 2 of Shy. This is a superhero manga about superheroes from across the world. So there's superheroes for like every country. This one's pretty fun so far. I enjoyed the first volume more than the second volume, but it's still pretty interesting. Shadow's House Volume 3. This was the best volume by far, in my opinion, of this little, you know, kind of cute horror-ish manga. I'm enjoying this one. It's got cute characters, cute artwork, but it does have a nice dark horror-ish vibe to it. Mon's Taboo Volume 3. I don't know if I'm going to continue with this one. It's okay. It's a fine little action series, but it's nothing like terribly special. Touring After the Apocalypse Volume 2. This one's fun, wholesome, relaxing. Just the title kind of says it. There's girls who are touring Japan, touring the world after the apocalypse, and there's you know, some unrealistic things, like there's I think like aliens and robot stuff in there as well. But I have enjoyed the 2 volumes that have come out so far. It is a good time. Here's one that I really freaking love, and that is Coffee Moon. Here's Volume 2. Volume 1 was one of the best first volumes that I read last year, I think is when it came out, like last November or something like that. Volume 2 is great. Again, it's a fantastic like time loop story, so if you like things like Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow or Happy Death Day, like those types of time loop stories, definitely check this one out. A big factor of the intrigue in this one is, of course, like why there's the time loop that's going on. I highly recommend it. It's only 2 volumes so far. Pick it up. She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat, Volume 2. I actually haven't finished reading the first one, so I haven't gotten to read Volume 2. But the first, the part that I've read of the first one was pretty fun. It's a nice little wholesome. Yawamushi Pedal Volume 22. I actually haven't gotten to catch up with this one yet either, because I spent so long trying to find Volume 10 or 11 or something. So now I have to go back to it now that I finally, I think I got it like early this year, last year, so I should probably return to that. But I have kept up with Solo Leveling. Here's volume 6. Funny to me that the cover image is an image from literally like the last page or the second to last page of the book, but I digress. This one is a fun manhwa. If you haven't heard somehow of Solo Leveling, if you like action titles, this one is a lot of fun, just action-packed material. Let's move on to 7 Seas. So I got a decent amount of stuff from 7 Seas this month. Top of the list is a favorite of mine. This is Die Dark from Q Hayashida. I'm a big fan of Dorohedoro. It's one of my favorite series, and she is not disappointing with Die Dark. This was a fantastic first volume, The Skull Dragon's Precious Daughter. I love the artwork in this volume. It's a fun, kind of dark-ish fantasy series about a girl who is adopted by this, skull dragon, and just kind of what they are going through in their little adventures together. It's mostly just cute stuff with the little sorceress girl using magic and things. I recommend it. If you like fantasy, if you like cute fantasy, I do really recommend this one. Then I mentioned this a little bit earlier ago, World End Solte. This is by the same creator as Spirit Circle and Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. It's a fun fantasy series. It feels like it's just kind of taking off right now towards the end of volume 2, so I'm excited to see, or intrigued to see where it goes from here with volume 3. Then we've got Box of Light volume 2. I read volume 1 recently and really enjoyed it. It's kind of like a series about the afterlife and this like afterlife convenience store that exists, and the people that work there, and patrons and stuff. Fun little book right there. Then we got Kageki Shoujo Volume 8. This is another one that I need to catch up on. But then we have Kiruru Kill Me Volume 4. This one's been fun so far. The Valiant Must Fall Volume 1. This one is a beautifully illustrated book, and if you're a fan of Blade of the Immortal, check this one out. That's all I'm going to say there. Les Miserables Volume 2. Volume 1 was fun. Volume 2 is even better because I think it touches more on the dramatic sense of things, whereas Volume 1 was fun because it was interesting to see a shonen version of Les Miserables by the same creator who did the Cirque du Freak adaptation manga. So yeah, whether you're a fan of the Les Miserables novel, play, movie, or not, I recommend maybe checking this one out. This one's a lot of fun. Dinosaur Sanctuary. I read the first volume recently and then picked up the second one soon thereafter, and I really liked it. This is, it's, people compare, they say, obviously, like Jurassic Park the manga. It's not action-packed though, it's very much more like educational type thing. I would compare it in that way to like Cells at Work, where Cells at Work is like, obviously it's a manga, it's a shonen manga, but it's educational in the way that it presents its stuff. In this world, it's like if Jurassic Park was successful, is all I'm gonna, I think that's the best way of putting it. In this world, like, they've brought back dinosaurs, and they make these like parks, these dinosaur sanctuaries, where people can go and visit dinosaurs, but they've actually succeeded in making those things work without having the dinosaurs like attacking people and getting loose and then somehow making it to the city and then spawning like 6 movies where only like one of them is really good and maybe one other is okay. Then we have Ladies on Top. This is exactly what it sounds like, and it's a lot of fun. It's actually very wholesome for a spicy manga about ladies being on top. It's pretty wholesome. The relationship itself is really wholesome. That doesn't mean that younger people should be reading it. Please don't read it if you are not 18 or older, but nonetheless. And ooh, one more spicy, Game Between the Suits. This one is not quite as wholesome, and I feel like I diverge from like what other readers of this one feel, but like I do not like the male main character, the male MC. I think he's an asshole. But yeah, so that's 7 Seas, all the new stuff from 7 Seas. Okay, let's go to Kodansha, and I already pulled the pile So Kodansha has the most so far, but Viz takes the cake on this one as far as the most books in my haul. So at the top of Kodansha, we have Lovesick Ellie Volume, what is this, 9? Lovesick Ellie Volume 9, Shaman King Omnibus Volume 12. This is the end. This is it. The last 2 volumes of Shaman King, 2 volumes of material that we've never had in English before, finally available in this 2-in-1 omnibus edition from Kodansha. Then we have A Condition Called Love Volume 2. This was a very highly wanted physical release in English. I think I mentioned that when I got the first volume. This is cute. It's fun. I think that the male MC is a complete dork. In the way that he acts, and I think it's hilarious. I say that affectionately. I'm pretty sure I said the exact same thing before, but yeah, he's a complete dork. In the Clear Moonlit Dusk Volume 3, this is my current favorite ongoing shoujo series. Now we get to Fire Force. I haven't read the 3rd omnibus just yet, but the 1st and 2nd I found really fun. I could do without a little bit of the fan servicey stuff in there, but the action and the plot are very fun, very intriguing, and I am glad to be picking these up in these really great 3-in-1s from Kodansha. I think that they're hitting it out of the park with their 3-in-1 omnis, and I'm intrigued to see what else they decide to put in this format, because I know we've got at least one more coming. I know that Cells at Work is getting a 3-in-1, which is funny because it's only going to be 2 volumes. Anyway, only 3 volumes of 3-in-1s. We have number 6, and I haven't read this one either yet. The first volume was good. I'm looking forward to reading this second one to see how the story continues, and it wraps up in the 3rd 3-in-1 omnibus, so it's not a very long one. And then we get to 7 Deadly Sins. This is the 9th omnibus edition, I believe. Yeah. So we're up to volume 27, and in total, this had what, 41, 42 volumes, so it's going to be like 13 of these total 3-in-1s. So we got a little ways to go, but we're getting there. We're almost done. And then Noragami. This one I have read. I've been really enjoying Noragami. I feel like this series is kind of underrated in a lot of ways, because I don't hear a lot of specifically a lot of shonen manga fans talking about it, but I am really enjoying this one. In particular, the artwork is fantastic. I love it. So this is the 4th 3-in-1 omnibus edition, and there are going to be 9 total, because it was recently said that this series is wrapping up with volume 27, so we'll have 9 total 3-in-1 volumes. That's not too bad. And then 1 box set, the only box set that I have for this entire haul, and that is Sweat and Soap box set 2. So this includes volumes, what is it, 7 through 11 of Sweat and Soap, and it includes as well a bonus gift, and it's a little, I took it out, and I don't remember where I put it, but it's a little container of soap sheets. So you have little sheets that you can put under water, and it turns into soap. You can wash your hands really easily on the go. So pretty fun. And the little soap sheets come in this, it looks like another volume, but it's just a little box that the soap sheets come in. So fans of this rom-com series, you can now have all of it in 2 box sets. I feel like the 2nd box set came out so fast after the first one, because I think the first one kept getting delayed, and then we basically just got the 2nd one like on time. So that was Kodansha, and now it's time to move to the winner of this month, which is Viz. It kind of goes back and forth. Either like I have nothing from Viz and a ton from Kodansha, or I have a ton from Viz. So let's get into the new Viz books, and then we'll go into the older stuff. Okay, so the new Viz books this month. We got a lot to go over, so I'm going to try to go through them pretty quickly. Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, Volume 19. Insomniacs After School, Volume 1. I know the anime just started for this one recently, and they're promoting this one right now a lot. It's good. It's good. Pick it up. If you want something that's kind of slice of lifey, that's a good one. Children of the Whales, Volume 21. I think the next one is the last one. Crazy Food Truck, Volume 3. This is the last one. If you want a quick, action-packed manga and you enjoy like gourmet stuff as well, like cooking manga, this is a good one to get. Beast Complex, Volume 2. We do have Volume 3 coming out soon. This is, of course, Haru Itagaki, creator of Beastars, started this one, these kind of short stories before she did Beastars. She worked on more of the short stories during Beastars, and she's continued to work on the series after Beastars concluded. So there is actually a short story in here with Legoshi and Haru that takes place after Beastars. And then Volume 3 will have more stuff coming soon. But if you're a fan of Beastars, definitely pick up Beast Complex. Volume 5 of Alice in Borderland. Absolutely loving this series. I finally caught up while this one was about to come out, while 5 was about to come out, I've read 1 through 4 basically in one day, and I loved it. It's so good. I cannot wait to, there's only gonna be 9 of these, and I don't know if they're gonna do the spin-off series, like I don't know if it's sequel or prequel, but there's another series, and I don't know if they're gonna do that. I will say I was a little disappointed in volume 5 because most of it is like side story material. Nonetheless, fantastic series. Orochi Volume 4, this is the last volume of this horror anthology type of manga by Kazuo Umezu, creator of Drifting Classroom. So if you're a fan of Drifting Classroom, Cat-Eyed Boy, that kind of stuff, ton of Umezu manga out there. Hopefully we get a lot more of it in English soon, but Orochi, this is the first time it's been published entirely in English, and I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of horror manga, if you're a fan of Junji Ito, check this one out. I think that it's worth it alone for how beautiful the illustration is in the final chapter of this book. Fantastic. Now we got a new Junji Ito release, and that is Tombs. I made a Junji Ito video at the end of last month, just a couple weeks ago. So if you haven't watched it, check it out, because I talk about every book that's out in English by Junji Ito, as well as every book that we don't yet have in English, so that you can have an idea of what's going to be coming in the near future. It's a great guide for collectors, a guide for readers, and a guide for any fan of Junji Ito's or someone who wants to become a fan or get more into Junji Ito. Also, side note, Tombs is probably like my favorite of his short story collections. I think the most like really great short stories are in that one. By capita, I guess. The most great short horror stories by capita are in Tombs. Fist of the North Star, Volume 8, classic shonen action in fantastic hardcover editions. We are about at the halfway point of the series now, so pick it up. I'm hoping that once we wrap it up, they'll also wind up putting out Fist of the Blue Sky, because we only have like 4 volumes of that available in English from Raijin, but of course Raijin died like over a decade ago, so we're not going to see that continued from them. Okay, now the Shonen Jump stack, and Jesus Christ, I think this is like 2 months worth of Shonen Jump. Kaiju number 8, Volume 6. Sakamoto Days Volume 7, Dandadan Volume 3. I don't even really need to say anything about these because they're great series. If you're already reading it, you already know that it's great. One Piece Volume 102. I don't know if you've heard of this series, but it's pretty good. You might be interested in picking it up if you're a fan of shonen action adventure titles. Tista Volume 1 from the same creator as Spy Family, and the shirt is from Uniqlo. If anyone wants to know, I usually don't know where my shirts are from because I just order them on random sites online, but this one I got from the Uniqlo store in New York, so I do know where it's from. Same creator as Spy Family, not quite as wholesome as Spy Family, but very fun nonetheless. It is there's an assassin in like fictional New York who's killing off gangsters and mob bosses and stuff, and it just so happens that her true identity is a young student who's going to school to become a teacher. And she also happens to be an assassin. The Hunters Guild Red Hood, final volume of this short series that was canceled in the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, Mashal, Magic and Muscles. The first episode, I believe, just came out. So if you haven't picked up the manga, if you watched the anime and you liked that first episode, pick up the manga. This is great. This is one of my favorites. I'm so glad that it's getting animated, and hopefully the anime does well so we can get more Mashal fans out there. Speaking of Spy Family, Volume 9 of Spy Family, the highest selling volume of not just manga, but adult graphic novels is the label that they all fall under for March of 2023. Spy Family Volume 9. That was mostly occupied by manga. That list, like the top 20, was mostly manga, except for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin hardcover, which surprised me because that book came out like last year, and I don't know who is buying it, and I don't mean like individual customers, because the individual customer sales are not what really matters here. It's what retailers are buying that book. The manga that appear on those lists, on those top 20 lists, very largely, not entirely, but very largely, the manga that appears on those lists are the ones that you'll find at like Target and Walmart. That's why they appear on those lists, is because they have not just the backing from bookstores like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, but they also have huge backing from Target and Walmart nationwide, and some other stores like them will start to carry manga. But like, I want to know what retailer bought thousands of copies of TMNT Last Ronin. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. but I just want to know where those sales are coming from. Ayashimon Volume 1 from the same creator as Hell's Paradise, which is, the anime has, what, 2 episodes right now? So check that out. This one was in Weekly Shonen Jump, of course, so it's not going to be quite as violent as Hell's Paradise, but it's still a lot of fun, and it's only like 3 volumes because it also got canceled, but whatever. Volume 3 of My Hero Academia Team Up Missions, so one of the spin-offs if you enjoy MHA. The Naruto's story novel, Uzumaki Naruto and the Spiral Destiny. A bunch of Naruto novels out there at this point. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 19, continuing along with the current arc. Fantastic stuff. I'm still loving the series. I'm not reading it weekly, and I know that some people are really going through it right now with what's happening weekly, and that's why I save myself to read it in the volumes, so I can get a chunk at once and I'm not going through the same trauma. Kaguya-sama Love is War, Volume 25, coming close to the end on this one and the end on Dr. Stone, also Volume 25. 26 is the last volume for that, so pretty soon I'm going to be ending that one. Moriarty the Patriot, Volume 11, not coming close to the end. There are a lot of volumes of this and a lot that we don't have yet in English, but we are catching up. We're at least getting somewhere with them. Okay, so now all the other stuff from Viz. I had the Signature stack, the Shonen Jump stack, and now we've got The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Volume 11, final volume of Twilight Princess. This is like the longest running Zelda manga. As far as I know, it is the longest. I know that it's the longest running one in English. I think it's the longest running one, period. Same creator though, Akira Himakawa, as the other Zelda manga, like the ones that are in the box set. And got the 2-in-1 Legendary Edition ones, but all of those are mostly like single volume or 2-volume stories. This one, 11 volumes, which is great because it fleshes out the characters, it fleshes out the story, it allows the book time to do so much. So if you're a Zelda fan and you haven't checked out the Twilight Princess manga, I highly recommend it. If you're not a Zelda fan, I don't know that it would really do anything for you, but it is a lot of fun. Animal Crossing, Volume 4. So more Nintendo stuff. The Deserted Island Diary is what this one is subtitled. Snow White with the Red Hair, Volume 24, one of the longer running titles currently in the Shoujo Beat line. And My Love Mix-Up, Volume 7. I think this one wraps up soon. This one has like a few more volumes left or something. Komi Can't Communicate, Volume 24. 23 was a big one. I think that was the one where the big stuff happened, and now we're coming off of that in 24. Case Closed, Volume 86, another one that you might have not heard of, but this is a pretty fun series in case you've never heard of Case Closed or Detective Conan. I'm being sarcastic, if you can't tell, with that and with One Piece. I'm trying to be sarcastic. Volume 20 of Sleepy Princess in the Demon's Castle. These are the Shonen Sunday titles, is what I'm at now since Komi. Call of the Night, Volume 11, Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 16, Helk, Volume 2. This one's been pretty fun, and it's also not that long. I think it's 10 to 12 volumes long in total, so it's not that long. And Rumiko Takahashi's currently ongoing series, we got Mao, Volume 10, and that wraps up all of the new manga that I got this month. Now, people ask me, time and time again, where do you buy your manga? Where do you buy your manga? I mostly buy my manga at Right Stuff. But I have a lot of viewers who are not within the US, and while Right Stuff does ship internationally, they're not always the best choice for people outside of the US because the shipping prices can be a little bit high and a little bit restrictive for some people outside of the States. And I'm happy to have partnered with a shop out in Berlin, Germany that ships all around the EU, and that is Walt's Comic Shop. Now, I've talked about Walt's Comic Shop before in a couple of videos, and I'm happy to talk about them again here so I can let y'all know if you are in the EU and you want somewhere to do some manga shopping for English language manga like the ones that I'm talking about here. Walt's carries tons of stuff and a ton of really great books, and you can get free shipping on your first order with them of €40 or more if you use the code TheOmnibusCollector at checkout. So please check out Walt's comic shop online, and you can even go to their brick and mortar store if you're in Berlin. You can check out the brick and mortar store as well, but go to waltscomicshop.com, check them out online, make that order, use the code TheOmnibusCollector for your first order so you can get free shipping when you spend €40 or more. Thank you again to Waltz for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video, and let's go ahead and move on to the older manga that I picked up for the month of March. All right, in front of me, I have 4 stacks. I forgot though, I also need to cover all of the anime that I picked up because I'm doing anime as well in these. And I did get a few for the month of March. First off, the Dragon Ball Super Superheroes movie. I saw this one in theaters with my brother-in-law. We had a great time. I really enjoyed it. I know not everyone's crazy about the animation because it's like the 3D cell shade kind of stuff, but I thought it was a fantastic, fun movie, and I really loved the evolution of the characters for Piccolo and Gohan, them getting to take center stage here. And I can't wait to see what we get from the franchise in the future. Now we've got the newest release of Discotek's Loop on the Third Line, Swallowtail Tattoo. This is the 16th of the TV special, so I think after this one we have like 4 more that we need released, something like that. So we're almost done with all of the Lupin stuff from Discotek. Very happy about that. This one's not a brand new one, but the City Hunter movie and TV special collection, I had not bought this when it came out, and I have everything else City Hunter, so this was on sale for like a weekend or something, and I went ahead and picked it up. And this one is a fun one. Sonic X, this is the original Japanese anime version of this series. They did previously release the English version. This is the original Japanese, all 78 episodes on 2 discs. So this is not the one that you're gonna get the gotta go fast, gotta go faster. I don't wanna get in trouble for singing something I don't have the rights to, but this is the original. This is the original, and I'm so excited. I haven't gotten to try this or to check it out yet because I've been so busy, but I have some free time now, and I am going to be watching this in the near future. Now, Urusei Yatsura. Love Urusei Yatsura. We recently wrapped up the manga in February with the last 2-in-1 volume, and now we've got the classic anime, the first set, the classic anime. This is the first 54 episodes from Discotek again. Discotek has already released the 6 movies. Now they're doing the classic series, and of course there's the new series that's coming out right now. So if you're enjoying the new series, you can go ahead and pick up the classic one as well to see kind of the origins of that one. And it's longer, more episodes, more material that's covered, more stories, yada yada yada. Now let's get into some older manga that I picked up. First up, I finally got the first volume of Uzaki-chan. This was reprinted somewhat recently from 7 Seas, so I got to complete that collection. Now I can start enjoying it. This one is from Vertical, and it is a manga, but it is by a Western creator, and that is Pipo Chu. I got this one for a decent deal, and then I'm upset because I saw another seller like immediately after I bought it, selling it for a much better deal. This is a 3-volume series by Felipe Smith. If you're unfamiliar with Felipe Smith, he has done a lot of Western comics, but he's probably most well known as the creator of Robbie Reyes, the Ghost Rider that has like the muscle car. So he did this one. He did publish it in Japan. I believe while he was living in Japan, he published it over there. So it is a manga by a Western creator. And Emma Volume 5 from Yen Press. This series was recently reprinted. I think volumes 4 and 5 were the hard to find ones for the longest time, but Yen Press finally put them back in print. I got volume 4 a few months ago. Volume 5 came back somewhat recently, so I finally picked that up so I can wrap the story up. And now that I have all of Emma, I also need to get all of Bride Story by the same creator, because I do not have that, and that's something that I need to add to my collection. Okay, next we have Pokemon Adventures Black 2, White 2, Volume 1. Last haul video, I showed a bunch of Pokemon stuff. This was one of the volumes that I didn't have, that I did not get in March, or not get in February, I got it in March. I think there's just one more volume of Pokemon that I need to catch up with everything. One more volume of Kimi Todoke that I needed, Volume 27. I think there's still 1 or 2 more of this series that I need to get before wrapping it up. And the final volume that I needed of Nana, Volume 12. So I've completed this classic shoujo manga. Speaking of classic shoujo manga, another one that I completed was Fushigi Yugi with the 6th Omnibus edition, if I could speak. This wraps up the 3-in-1 Biz Big editions. Recently it was reprinted, which is great because I've been waiting for this one to get reprinted for months. It was due out in December. They didn't have it in December. They had it in March. And here we are. Another shoujo that got the Viz Big treatment, and one that is not necessarily a classic, but it sold well, but it's also one that people are like, this is shoujo trash. And I got this one for a reason, and that is Hot Gimmick. All 4 of the Viz Big editions. Now, shoujo fans are cringing everywhere right now, but it's y'all's fault. It is y'all's fault that I got it, because I was told by my friends at this point, you know, that I need to read at least one shoujo trash to really become a shoujo person, a shoujo reader. And so I landed on this one because it was the shortest one, and we're doing a whole group read through, so I'm not doing it alone. I'm not going it alone. But it was, you know, the shoujo trash, so to say. It was between this one. Some people are going to be upset when I say this, but it was going to be between this one, Blackbird, and Vampire Knight. And I chose this one because this is the shortest one. But I was like, you know what? Knowing me, I'm probably going to want to read the other 2 anyway. So if y'all want to do more, you know, trash read-throughs, let me know, because I am up for it. Okay, so moving on from that one, these are all from a order that I placed last summer with a retailer called Robert's Anime Corner Store, or the Anime Corner Store. And it's not their fault that it took this long to get here. These were like pre-ordered items. And so I basically just reached out recently and I said, hey, how much more of my order is available for you to ship out? They responded and said, oh, we've got all of it except for 1 remaining book, so we'll go ahead and ship those out for you. And so this is what I got, volumes 3, 5, and 7 of Gangsta. So this, I believe, finally wraps up my collection of Gangsta. And then volumes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of Dead Man Wonderland, which I believe this wraps up my collection of Dead Man Wonderland as well. So I had gotten a lot of stuff from them last summer. I ordered a lot of things at the same time, and most of it shipped immediately, like really fantastic service. It was shipped almost immediately after I ordered it, and they arrived super quickly, but you know, a little less than half of the order was on back order, so I had to wait for those to be sent. And so this is the 3rd shipment from this order that I've gotten. Now, the last stack here, the first few are not from C2E2, but the rest of the stack will be. I'll talk about when we get to that. Okay, so first up we have Portus. This is a Viz single volume horror manga. I found it for a pretty decent deal online, so I picked it up. This is from Jun Abe. I love horror manga. This is an older one from like the late 2000s. I don't remember exactly when it was published. Another Shoujo Beat one, Library Wars. I finally got volumes 1 through 3 of Library Wars. I'm super excited about this because a lot of my friends really love this series, and now I can start reading it, and I'm only missing, I think, volume 5 of that one, 4 or 5, I forget which one exactly, but I have every other volume except for that. So the first 3 volumes, finally got those, and for a fantastic deal, like less than cover price, considering that these, I've seen them go for a lot more. Now, here's the rest of the stack, and these are all from C2E2. I went around the floor with some friends, primarily my friend Colleen from Colleen's Manga Rex. We were searching for some old stuff. Colleen found a few good things, and then one of our friends, Connor, helped us to find some places. Connor went around the floor and just searched for shops, and then found this one that just had a ton of stuff, and it was the only retailer that I bought from. And they just had a ton of these books. They were long out of print, older manga that they were selling for cover price or less. Well, they were selling for cover price, and it was buy 3, get 1 free. So I bought 12, but 3 of them were for other people. So I have 9 right here. So we've got Project Arms is the top of the stack here. I got volumes 1, 2, and 4 of this old Viz action series. I think I have like 3 volumes already of it. I know I have a few. I don't remember how many I have, but slowly but surely working on collecting that one. And this one I was super excited about, Short Program Volume 2. I still need to find Volume 1, of course, but this is like one of the only things published in English by Mitsuru Adachi. Mitsuru Adachi, of course, being the creator of Cross Game. I freaking love Cross Game. If you've never read it, it is a fantastic manga. It's a baseball romance type thing. Amazing. And Short Program was published earlier in English than Cross Game was. And we're getting another Mitsuru Adachi manga from, I think, Denpa later this year. but there's so much that he has done that has never been released in English, and I'm hoping that at some point in the near future that we can finally get it. A couple more older Viz books. We have Eagle, The Making of an Asian American President, volumes 2 and 3. I have volume 1 already, so grabbing 2 and 3 to continue this collection. I think there are 6 of these total. There also are a lot of the smaller, like thinner volumes, but of course, me being me, I went after the thick boys. Then we've got one that was published in pulp. This is the first volume of Strain by Bronson and Richo Inagaki. Bronson, of course, being the writer of Fist of the North Star, Richo Inagaki being the artist of so many different things, including like Crying Freeman and the Spider-Man manga. So the first volume of Strain was published in the Pulp magazine, which a few months ago I had a bunch of the Pulp magazine that I got in my my haul. And then also from Pulp, Benkei in New York. I believe this is just a single volume. This is by Jinpachi Mori, but it has artwork from Jiro Taniguchi. Jiro Taniguchi has done so many amazing manga. I love Taniguchi's work, so I was really excited to find this single volume. And then the last one for this haul is Blackjack, The Two-Handed Surgeon. I think this is the second volume of Blackjack. So I do already have the newer edition of this, but this is an older Viz Media edition, larger trim size and everything. So you can see, well, let me compare it to Library Wars. Larger trim size than the current edition of it. Cool cover as well. And that's it. That's everything that I got. That's everything from C2E2, all the anime, all the manga. That's everything that I got this month. I did get one figure, but I don't feel like taking him out of the case. It is Kaimen from Dorohedoro. I really love Dorohedoro. It's one of my favorite series, so I wanted something to represent the series in my collection more than just the books. I'm probably going to move it out of the case because he's a little small right here, and put it somewhere where he's more noticeable for me in my collection. But that is the one thing that I got. I put some pictures of it on my Twitter. I ordered it off of eBay. I don't remember the seller, but you can just go on eBay or other retailers and just look for Dorohedoro Kaimen figure. Anyway, so that's everything for April of 2023. A lot of awesome stuff came out, a lot of great things that I had read as well. And a side note, for the past like almost a year, I've been struggling to keep up with all of the new releases that come out. And I think I mentioned on Twitter, like at one point had like over 150 books in my to read pile. And right now I've gotten it down to about 25. So in the near future, I will be done with like catching up with all of my to read pile of like recent releases. And so I plan on doing hopefully more like reviews of single volumes. I'm going to do like short form reviews, maybe use the YouTube Shorts feature to put those videos up. So look forward to that. I'm really excited there. And something I would like to do, I don't know if I will or not, but I might try it out, see how it goes, is do like in my monthly buyer's guide videos, I talk about all the new volume 1s and stuff, but I want to do a video where I review all of those, or not all of them, but any of them that I pick up, to kind of act as like a supplement to those videos. I think those could be fun. I think that could be a good idea to kind of give people an idea, like, you know, I talked about this coming out, I bought it, what did I think about it? So give an additional idea of whether or not you might want to pick it up if your tastes are similar to mine. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I think this is a pretty long one, but you know, it was a lot of stuff to cover in the haul video, and I wanted to talk this time. I didn't want to just go through and be like showing books. I wanted to talk about them and my feelings on them. So thank you for sitting here. Thank you for watching. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. It would mean a ton to me if you would. So then you can keep up with me and keep up with all my videos, and we can continue to have these sit downs, these discussions. I appreciate it. And I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.